Hello and welcome to the Real Housewives of Orlando podcast. I'm Josie
And I'm Alyssa.
and this is the Real Housewives of Orlando. We failed to say our names last episode, so we're sorry about
So sorry.
that. Of course, Jason noticed it right away, but we didn't notice it. It's just because we're probably talking to mostly our friends and family right now.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys.
Shout out to our main viewers.
Yes.
Yeah, episode 1 was great. I feel like it was a hit.
It was. I had so many people reach out to me, and say, I love the podcast. It was so cute. It was so wholesome. Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. And we love the feedback. We love all the feedback.
We do. I love that everyone loved the blue and pink job.
Uh-huh.
Everyone has been coming up to me at the gym and saying it. Like at Faith and Fitness Friday night, everyone was talking about it. And there was one girl there who didn't know about us and know the podcast. And so I think it was Sylvette was like, oh, by the way, this is from their podcast. So we had to explain. And everyone thought the purple job thing was also hilarious. I was like, well, that came up on the spot, so
It was perfect. It was
great.
perfect. Yeah. Well, again, thank you guys for your support and your continued support. And we're so excited for this episode, too.
Yeah, I am too. Good stuff.
Yeah. All right. So this episode, we're mainly going to be talking about the big picture here is going to be is fitness an idol?
Yeah.
Which is huge these days, I feel like. So we'll just get right into it.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
dive in.
Okay, so first off, I want to compare discipline versus obsession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did a little research and Google here helped me out. So we're going to do the definition of discipline first, okay? Probably everybody already knows the definition, all right, but I'm just going to say it, okay?
They may not.
So it's the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior with punishment or other undesired consequences for those failing to comply. It's a rational, chosen commitment to consistent action, even when unmotivated, forming habits for long-term goals requiring self-control and a choice to prioritize tasks. All right? And then obsession is an intense, often uncontrollable fixation driven by emotion, making you do something because you can't stop, potentially leading to burnout or unhealthy patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when it's obsession, it's like, are you doing it because you want to? You have that drive, you have that motivation of like, I want to stay healthy.
Right.
I want to be, the healthiest version of me for myself, my family, whatever that is, for my job. Or are you doing it because you feel like you have to? Like it's something you cannot put anything else before that. It has to come first every day.
Yeah.
And you will not, sacrifice anything else. You will not sacrifice fitness for anything.
Right.
I think that's when it becomes an obsession.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy.
Yeah. Exactly. Like Josie said, like burnout, like working out so much to the point where your body just physically can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
You're so burnt out, you can't perform how you need to perform in the gym, right? And then neglecting your well-being, like not feeding yourself enough, not having the time, like being like, oh my gosh, I need to get to the gym at this time and I just don't have time to eat.
Yeah.
Like you have to fuel yourself in order to perform.
Or just thinking, I'll lose weight by just doing a little more cardio and not eating as much food. And it's not how it works. Like we really should be fueling our body even more the more we're, working out and strength training, cardio training, whatever that may be. Shouldn't be sacrificing, meals or anything like that for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's when it becomes unhealthy or an obsession possibly as well.
Yeah.
I think too, when it starts to impact just your daily life, your tasks, your job, maybe your marriage or other relationships or friendships, work in a negative way. I think, when you start sacrificing other things or you're prioritizing fitness over, I just think about marriage specifically for us. Like if it's impacting that, I think that's when it's, I think you kind of have to take a step back and say, is this really worth it? Is this true discipline or is it really an obsession?
Yep. I agree with all of that. And then again, when it becomes obsession, like say, you have another event you have to go to and then you feel guilty because you couldn't go work out. That is obsession.
Mhm.
You are obsessed with it and you're feeling that shame and guilt of not being able to do it when in reality, like that event might change your life
Yeah.
in some form
Yeah.
or way. So, that also, hi buddy, Eddie's here.
Eddie's here. He just got back from a walk. He's really tired. Okay,
yeah.
you gonna come lay down?
He wants to cuddle.
Come here, bud.
Get
All
him
right.
situated.
We're gonna behave though. We're gonna be a good guest.
Yeah. So
I think too, like, as Christians, I think we also have to think about, because as Christians, we're always thinking about how is it God honoring our life? We don't just, close up our faith after we leave those four walls on Sunday. It should be pouring into every aspect of your life, at work, at school, wherever, other relationships aren't in church. So, excuse me, sir, shake it out. Anyways, I think always just having the mindset in this, not even just in fitness, in anything, is this God honoring? Is it wise? Is it coming before God, or is it coming after him? And the impact it has on your spiritual growth. Like, great, God, but is it impacting your time with Jesus, your time to go to church, or whatever that is? And like I said, recognizing when is this discipline? Because I think, God loves that we are, disciplining ourselves in a healthy way and taking care of ourselves and the body he's given us. But when it turns into an obsession, I just don't think that's wise. I don't think it's honoring him, and I don't think it's glorifying him.
Yeah.
And that's when we have to recognize that. One scripture I had today that I wrote down for this, and I was thinking about it, was 2 Timothy 1:7, and it says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love, and self-control." And I think that last part, like power and love and self-control, like, I think he's also saying here self-control even in the fitness aspect. Like knowing when too much is too much, or when it is that healthy balance of like discipline versus obsession. Self-control isn't just, outside the gym. It's not just within the four walls of church, like I said.
I really like that. That's good. Okay. I agree with everything Josie said. I think it's, I think the hardest part though is figuring it out. Discipline, is it discipline or obsession? Like really coming to terms with yourself and being like, okay, am I disciplined or am I obsessed?
Yeah.
And I definitely can fall guilty of that throughout my life. So, but we'll get more into that a little later.
Preview.
Next, we're going to move on to kind of talking about body image through a biblical lens. If we gonna get deep here.
Yeah, because I mean, in the fitness world, I think it's huge. Body image, like for most people. I think especially in any sort of strength training and like CrossFit, weight training, anything like that, we're really hyper focused on that a little bit more. And
Absolutely.
I think, obviously, no offense to anyone that goes to a commercial gym, but like obviously it's a lot different going from a commercial gym to like CrossFit or like a weight training gym. I've been in all of those, so I know what it's like to be in each one. And commercial gym, you have a lot of different people in there, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, going to a CrossFit gym, you're going to be around a lot more athletes, or people who are way more into like the bodybuilding or whatever that looks like.
Right.
So I think it's one motivating. It's great. The competition is great. I love the competitiveness of it, but it does come with like sometimes the negative aspect of like, wow, I'm around these great looking athletes that are really muscular, and it's like I want to look like that. And comparison comes into play. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel, maybe it's just me, but I feel like when I was going to a commercial gym, I didn't have as much comparison. which is good and bad. Like I said, I feel like when I go to CrossFit, I'm way more motivated because there's that competitive aspect in a healthy way. But there's also people that push me. I'm like, oh, they look great.
Yeah.
They work hard. And I know that I see they work hard in and outside of the gym. And I want to be like that. But I feel like body image really can become an issue in those kinds of settings for sure.
Yeah. Body image is a scary topic, I would have to say. Because I feel like, I feel like just us females, it starts at a very, very young age sometimes.
Yeah. Well, social media also just made it so much worse. Like, I don't know. I was talking about this with someone one time. Like, I feel like I didn't really get social media till I was more like in high school. I feel like that's when it started getting really big. And even then, it still is not on the level it's on today. And I'm honestly so thankful I didn't grow up with it like the way it is today.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just think in high school and or even middle school, I was never thinking, at least that I can think of right now, I was never thinking and comparing my body as much as now.
Yes.
Which is even, I don't know if that's crazy or not, because I feel like when you're a girl growing up, obviously girls go through puberty at different stages and, get boobs, get a butt, get your hips, whatever it is, get your period. So I feel like we're comparing more then, but honestly, no, I feel like I compare myself more to other girls in the age I'm at now than I even was like at that age, because I felt like I went through puberty a little later than other girls. And I don't know. I don't remember comparing myself as much. And I feel like social media is a big factor in that now.
Social media, oh, goodness. Yeah. Love-hate relationship there, if anything. But yeah, for me, most of my life, I have compared myself. It started out from like the very first time I can think about. So I went to a Catholic middle school, high school, and we had to wear skirts in middle school. And I remember I had like 3 different sizes of skirts, and I would always try and fit into the smallest one. And we would wear those. Do you guys remember those Sophie shorts? They had like so many different colors. And we always you'd roll them, and that's what we
have
wore.
Your booty cheeks hanging out, probably. Honestly, you shouldn't have at 12 years old.
Exactly. I just remember going into like the Kohl's, and they had like just a massive wall of like different colors.
I wonder if they still make them.
I don't know.
I actually don't know. I think I had literally like one pair, and that was my only pair, and I would wear them all the time as much as I could.
Yeah, and so we would wear those under our skirts. Right.
Oh, okay.
And so if you would roll them, obviously it'd get a little thicker. And so on the day that I wore my smaller skirt, I couldn't even roll it, or else I wouldn't be able to fit into the skirt. But I wanted to fit into that skirt because it made me look smaller. And I just think back to that day, and I'm like, why did I want to be like all of the other skinny girls in my class? But that's how I wanted it, because all of those girls were like the popular girls, right? And I guess wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
And then I remember looking, one of my best friends, she had a pool party, and everybody wore a bikini. And I remember looking at the photo and scrolling in on myself and just looking at my stomach area and being like, why did I ever think it was okay to wear a bikini? Like, and to this day, I'm like, Alyssa, like, that's so sad. Like, and it was a point in time in life where, we were going through puberty. Our bodies were changing so much. And it's like, you can't really control how your body changes during that time. And for me to sit there and say, I hated myself for how I looked, just hurts me so much today. Because, that's how God, that's how he made us. He didn't make us he made us perfection in his eyes, but in our eyes, we don't see it as perfection. And that's something that needs to be worked on, I feel like, just in society in general. And then fast forward to undergrad, you know, you go into a whole new world, right? You're meeting new people. You're doing different activities.
You can wear what you want.
You can wear what you want. I'm not in little Catholic girls' school anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But so I was always worried about how I was gonna look. I was, I'd look in the mirror and be like I'd ask like the girls, because I mean, going into undergrad, you don't know anybody, right?
Yeah.
Unless like you go into undergrad knowing somebody. But my roommate, I did not know her at all. The girls on my floor that lived in my dorm, I did not know them at all. So like that was scary. So you'd have to say, how does this look? Like, does it look good? And yes, I still say that to this day.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it was like more so of the fact, like the thoughts that were going on in my head, like, is this good enough for boys to like me? Is this good enough for me to be accepted by people?
Validation,
yeah. So that was hard as well.
And there's a difference too between like, I want to look good for validation.
Yes.
And there's and then like, I want to look good because I feel good. I look presentable.
Right.
Like, there's a difference between those two. There's a healthy boundary with it. Yeah.
And this was definitely the unhealthy side of it. But then I would say, year 1.5 to 4 for undergrad, I just like something happened and I just didn't care anymore. I was going out with friends, we were out till like 3 a.m. I would get these, they were called tachos, so they were tater tot nachos.
Sounds pretty good.
Oh my God, they were amazing. And I would sit there at the bar and eat the entire platter myself. Or we would go to this bar and we would get these breadsticks. Everybody from Indiana knows Kilroy's, and they had these stuffed breadsticks, and they were amazing. So but they would have like breadstick of the week. Oh. So they like had like different they'd be stuffed with like different stuff.
What else can you put in a breadstick?
I really don't remember. They had like they did like
cheese or butter. I don't know.
They did like pepperoni or like sausage stuff. Sounds like that.
A Hot Pocket.
Yeah, kind of. But these breadsticks were like top notch.
I think about
so good.
Like how much Taco Bell and McDonald's we eat. Because like we went to college in a small town, so there wasn't much to pick from. Especially at, late at night.
Right.
And McDonald's and Taco Bell were literally right across the street from each other. So it's like,
if one person, mighty mo.
Well, and it's like, oh, I want McDonald's. And Jason's like, I want Taco Bell. I'm like, okay, well, we're going both. They're right across the street. Whatever works. But I just think about how much of that we ate every week.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Listen, I love a good Taco Bell cheesy gordita crunch every once in a while. But I feel like poo-poo after I eat it.
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. And so at this point in my life, I really didn't, body image really wasn't a huge thing. I would go, the next day I'd wake up and my best friend and we'd go get Domino's. Yeah. I mean, it was just an ongoing cycle there. And it was crazy. It was a weird time in my life. It was great, but it was weird. Because that was like when I wasn't really focused on body image, really. Then, when it became a really bad issue was in grad school. We started, you learn more about the body and stuff like that. But when it was just, I was in my first 5 months of grad school, and my best friend and we got COVID. And I unfortunately I lost my sense of taste and smell. And if you've ever had COVID and you lost your sense of taste and smell, it is like nothing.
Yeah, I did. I was sad. I would eat my favorite thing, and I'm like, this isn't even
it's not like when you
satiable.
Get sick and you go to blow your nose and then you can kind of taste. That probably sounds so gross, but you can taste what you just ate when you're sick. It was no sense. You couldn't even tell what was salty or sweet.
That was my first telltale sign when I had COVID one time. I was like, do I have it? And then I was like, I ate some really good food that night. We got takeout or something. My family did, and I was like, I actually don't think I can taste this. And it's is it in my head?
Right.
And then I would close my eyes and take a bite. No, I don't think I could taste it.
Yeah, and what's funny is that my best friend, she texted me the morning that we went to go get tested, and I was at school. and she was at home because she actually like got like the like sniffles and stuff like that with it, which I never really felt that bad from it. I just really lost my taste and smell. But she texted me and she goes, I couldn't taste my Listerine. and that's when
bad.
we knew. That's when we knew. So we went and got tested, and we obviously tested positive. And then we go and get Chick-fil-A, and it was the most sad Chick-fil-A trip ever because I couldn't taste anything. Nothing. Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, yeah. Because I was honestly in denial that we had it.
Yeah, because you're like, well, at that point, everyone like shunned you.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, you have COVID. You better go sit in the corner, like never come out.
I was shunned to the basement. And I'm like, okay. And then I had to like report it to my school because I was going back to school in a few days.
Yeah.
And I had to tell them because I like, in order to go back, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a mess. Yeah, terrible time.
And then like if your roommate got it, your roommate would have to tell the school too that like, oh, my other roommate has it. Like, can I come to school? Like, it was.
Don't miss that.
That was horrible. Yeah. So, then obviously we couldn't taste or smell anything, so we started to eat really bland. Yeah. Like we just got on this fixation of just eating like a whole bunch of salads. We wouldn't even put salad dressing on it because we were like, what's the point?
You can't taste it. Yeah.
We put like a whole bunch of stuff in it, right? That was good for you, but it was basically just like chicken and then like the tuna packets. We would put it was so bad.
I never had one, so I can't judge because I know they have a lot of protein in them.
They do,
but something about tuna in a packet that was sitting on a shelf, that just really freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like the bacon that they don't refrigerate.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it is a bit questionable.
Not refrigerated? I'm really confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never had tuna in a packet.
Yeah, so that's what we were eating. So and then we started to work out. We started to go to the YMCA and just do some like, chill weightlifting stuff. Mm-hmm. So now we started to see a change in our bodies. I really started to see a change in my body. I would say it took me I shed the weight really fast. Too fast. Because once we started eating bland, I kind of continued that after I got my taste back. And when you're sick, you don't really eat that much. So like, because you don't really have an appetite, right? So it's hard to eat anyway when you're sick. But my stomach probably shrank a little bit. So then I was like, okay, like I'm working out now. Like I'm not going to eat as much, like I lost a whole bunch of weight, but I also lost so much muscle. So, I was really loving how I looked, and I got addicted to how I looked. And I was like, wow, like maybe this was like what I needed. No, Alyssa, it wasn't what you needed. Come on now. Like, no.
I needed that COVID.
Right. So, I started counting my macros, and this was the start of, I want to sing, it's the start of something new.
It wasn't the good new.
Not the good new, the bad new. I became obsessed with counting my macros. Like even on the weekends, I was like, I can't eat this because I don't know how many calories it is. I don't know how many grams of fat, how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs are in this. I don't know, so I can't eat it. So I would either not eat or I would wait till I, got home and could count or whatever, which a very bad obsession. To the point where I was only eating 1,200 calories a day.
Wow. And still working out.
And still working out and still having to go to school and think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
Your brain was like, I'm tired.
Yeah. And for people listening, who aren't, what's it called? Who aren't familiar with, counting macros and stuff, it's carbs, fats, and protein, right? And for a human being, an older adult in her 20s going to school, working out, she needs to be eating a lot more than 1,200 calories. Yeah. That is not sustainable. So yes, I was working out, but I wasn't really gaining any muscle. It was just I was I was becoming skinny and you were starting to see my muscle
Yeah.
because I was becoming
You're
so
just being
skinny.
lean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's like a really, I feel like a big thing right now
Yeah.
of people like, they're like, oh, you can see my, you know, girls specifically.
Mhm.
Or like, oh, you can see her muscles. No, she just has no.
Yeah.
She's so lean.
She's so lean.
Yeah, we all have muscles underneath there.
Mhm.
They're not growing. You just
Mhm.
leaned out and lost so much fat. And
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a good thing. Like, we
No,
do
yeah.
need some body fat to
Yeah.
function.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so there's like there is a little bit of a unhealthy perspective on that right now of being so lean, which
Yeah.
being lean is not a bad thing, but it's like, okay, there's a healthy lean and an unhealthy
Right.
lean. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I went into grad school and I was around 155 to 160 pounds, which, you know, some people that is totally fine, right? But for my build, it wasn't. And so with all of this happening, eating the 1,200 calories a day, I went to 125 pounds in like 6 months, which is
that's a lot.
Yeah. And some would say like that's great, like that is amazing, and it was, but it wasn't healthy.
Yeah, it wasn't a healthy
I did
manner.
not do it in a healthy way. So I basically starved myself, you know. It was more than a caloric deficit for sure, which is not good, because especially being in school and having to sit there and think, it wasn't fun. So fast forward to May of 2023. We were in clinicals, and my kind of clinical director, he was like, why don't you and my boyfriend at the time, but now my husband, he was like, why don't you guys come to CrossFit and try it out? And Anthony, my husband, he was getting to the point, because we were just going to a commercial gym lifting.
Yeah.
And he was getting to the point where he was over it. He was like, I need something new. I'm bored.
It does get
It's so
boring.
slow. I'm cold all the time in the gym because they have the air kicking in there. So we go to this class and we do like, you know, like a little like trial or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have a feeling we're going to love this, even before the class started. Because it's just, for those that don't know, CrossFit, usually the gyms are in a warehouse. There's no air conditioning. There's no heat. So it is what it is outside. So we go in, and after that class, we signed up. We absolutely loved it. He fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. And I thank my clinic director to this day for introducing us, because we would have never, I don't know if we ever would have tried it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started to see that I needed to eat more, because CrossFit requires a lot more intake in calories than if you're just, you know, going to the gym and lifting.
Well, and if you're in a CrossFit gym with no AC, obviously.
Exactly.
Usually, like, you know, you're shedding out all that water and electrolytes probably a lot more.
Yep.
Sweating a lot more.
So that's when I started to increase my macros. Not by much, but I was like, you know what? I want to be able to get through these workouts.
Yeah.
So I maybe increased it by like a few hundred calories or so. Then I was still in the headspace that I needed to be skinny to fit in, you know, like some girls in my class, I was like, I just want to be like them, because like it looks like, you know, they're so strong, they're so skinny. Like, I just want to be like them. Ugh, Alyssa. Fast forward to the last 4 to 5 months, I've stopped tracking my macros. And at first it was really hard, because I was like really scared that I was going to go back to the way I looked. And yes, that's, you know, not always how it is. And yes, Alyssa, you know, you shouldn't think like that, because if that does happen, then so be it. Like, that's how it's going to be. But it was just a scary thought. But here we are today. I don't ever use a scale, so I don't know, you know, how much I weigh. I don't care how much I weigh. And obviously still working on that body image, because there is always still a little, you know, little yapper in the back of my head here chirping to me, oh, like, are you good enough? are you going to be good enough? You know? And it all stems from, I think, years ago with the whole skirt situation, unfortunately. I today, I have been trying to still tell myself, you need to fuel yourself more. If you want to lift more weight, you got to fuel yourself, Alyssa. You have to. And if you want to perform how you want to perform in the gym, you have to fuel yourself. And that just kind of helps me, because a lot of the time I'll be like, you know what? I can skip this snack today because, I'm not going to go work out. So I can skip it. No, Alyssa, you need that because you're going to work out tomorrow. So you need that energy for tomorrow. This energy and stuff, carries over into the next day. So you have to be able to have that energy for the next day, and yes, the stuff that you take in that day helps you energy for that day too, but it all carries over. And so now that's something I'm working on, is looking at food as energy and not just like a criminal, so to tie this all in with, looking at body image through a biblical lens, right? I've been praying for patience and praying for just the acceptance of myself over these last few months. Praying for God to let me heal from the past, because it's been a rough ride, but here we are.
What do you think was like their turning point of like, okay, I can't do this anymore, I shouldn't do this, it's not healthy?
I think I just got so annoyed with having to count the macros.
I would say I've counted macros before, but for very short terms. I was just so lazy. I was like, this is so aggravating to weigh out the food.
Yeah.
To, like you said, you just have one snack someone offered you at work. You're like, okay, now I have to figure out how to put this in the app. And I'm like, this is so much work. And then I'm guessing. I'm like, well, that looks like about 4 tablespoons of coffee creamer.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's mentally draining. It is like, it feels like another job.
Yep.
And especially like, obviously when you work a full-time job and then you're trying to plan out your meals for lunch and just have it already ready to put in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like if you do count your macros and like that's what's helping you like gain weight or
losing, because obviously if you are trying to lose weight in a healthy way, you have to do a caloric deficit.
Yep.
But you should still meet your protein goals. I think that's another thing too that's like underutilized, especially in strength training. But there's totally benefits to it. I agree. Like, I definitely would notice a difference when I was counting in a healthy way. But I think for some people, it can turn unhealthy really quickly, like you said.
Yeah. So, our body image should only be based on one factor, right? Like, does the way I present my body indicate that my life is dedicated to the glory of God?
Yeah.
And that's something that I've also been working on too, because I feel the closest to God that I've ever felt, like these past, like I would say ever since probably joining our gym. Just because of like all the Bible studies that we do and being surrounded by so many people that are believers there, right? So, I've never really thought about it in that way. And now that I do, it's just like a whole nother perspective that I'm so thankful that I'm gaining.
Yeah.
And experiencing. I've experienced, obviously Jesus' love in so many different ways, but not this way. So it's kind of fun and new and
Aww.
Yeah. That was cute.
She's
but
making me blush.
Oh. I heard I do listen to Josie introduced me to another podcast though.
Janine.
Yeah,
Happy
Janine,
and Healthy. We love.
Yeah, Happy and Healthy
we
podcast.
Love you, Janine.
Yes,
she won't ever listen, but we love her.
But she had someone come on to her podcast one time, and they were talking about body image as well. And I forget if it was Janine or the girl on the podcast that day that said, God made us in His own image.
Yeah.
And why would we ever want to change that?
Yeah.
Why would we want to change his perfection? He knew how and why he created us for a reason. He knew, all of the areas that we unfortunately don't like about ourselves, but he knew they were perfect for us. Why would we want to change that? Why not praise that?
Yeah.
Right? And so, I always, when I talk to my sister, I love my sister. I love you, Rachel. But I always try and be really positive with her. Because, she's always like, but you're just so strong, Alyssa. Like, you're so beautiful. And I'm like, you are too. Like, you are too. And she's always like, yeah, but you don't have this, and this. Aww. And I said, but that's because God gave that to you. Yeah. And God gave this to me. And we're different in our own ways. Yeah. We're all different in our own ways. We all have, stuff that we don't like. We all have, we don't have the booty that we like. We some of us, don't like our different curves. We have cellulite. We have, wrinkles. We have freckles. We have, some people want dark hair. Some people want light hair. We all have different things that we don't love about ourselves, but God loves them. Mm-hmm. God loves them about us. And, he knew that we would be beautiful in our own ways. And, I also saw or heard this from a post or something, but not even two identical twins have the same features. Yeah. One of them might have a freckle here, one of them might have a freckle there. One of them might have, I don't know, a higher eyebrow than the other. Who knows, right? But no one was created the same. Mm-hmm. So why should we go and do things that want to make us look the same as other people? Why should we, I don't know, for example, go and get like a booty lift or whatever to look like Kim Kardashian or whoever, in my opinion, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
I think too, like, listening to you say all that, I think it's just a reminder of, like, we do live in a broken world. Yes. And, like, after the fall, like, yes, it is why we have these thoughts and, this outlook on body image sometimes of our own body. It literally is just the brokenness inside of us. Yeah. Which, it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of like just a good reminder of, like, because we are not perfect and but we were still, like you said, made in his image, and so we are still called to, like, fight that darkness, fight those thoughts and that negativity, because it's not from God, right? And just remembering to frame how you speak about yourself and how you think of yourself, like, is it loving? Does your talk glorify God and his work as his creator? Because honestly, talking negatively about yourself, I feel like in a way you have to remember we're talking negatively almost about God too. Right. Because we were made in his image and he is our creator of the work. Like, we are his workmanship. Yeah. So I think also using that as a reminder when we think about our body and our body image and what we look like and caring about that. Like, is your talk coming from a place of, care and concern for, like, your health? Yeah. Or is it coming, from a negative place of just negative talk? Right. I think there's a difference in that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. When I wrote down this little nugget here. I like that. When God's glory is our goal, we can have confidence and pleasure in our physical appearance, regardless of society's standards, knowing that we are pleasing the only one whose opinion matters. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's so huge. There's a few CrossFit girls out there that I follow, and a few just girls that work out and stuff that I follow that, they work out for him, right? They work out for God. Everything that they do is for the glory of God. Yeah. And they even say that in their posts, in their interviews and stuff like that. And I just think that's so awesome these days, because I don't know, like you said, we live in a broken world. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like, when you're famous and stuff like that, people are unfortunately afraid to say that stuff. So I think that's so awesome that, they can say that and not really care about what other people think, because yeah. But like I said, like we were saying, social media unfortunately does such a good job at taking away what God has given us, right? It makes us look away from God. It makes us kind of turn our cheek, unfortunately. And
well, and we have just taken, obviously, as a world and as a society, we've taken every perfect thing He's given us, and distorted it, because of the fall. And so all the good gifts and all the good things He's given us, we've taken them and distorted what they were really meant for. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. And 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 19 through 20 says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies."
Yeah.
I just love that so much. I really do.
It's just a good reminder, because it's like, we always think about, like, none of this money is mine. None of this house is mine. Like, it is all God's. But, like, sometimes I think we forget, like, same thing with our bodies. Like, it is His at the end of the day. We are His. We are His daughters. We are His sons, whatever it may be. And yeah, we're a holy temple, basically. And we're still called to take care of this body and this holy temple, because we've been blessed with this body that He's gifted with us with, and that He's created just for us. Too.
Yeah, he chose us to walk on this earth. He knew that we would have an amazing purpose here to walk this earth. So we need to,
walk in our purpose.
Exactly. So I am so happy that God is showing me how to love the body that He gave me in different ways. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. So I'm still working at it, every day. But I'm really excited for this journey, because there's so much to come.
Yeah. And I mean, body image too can then lead to, like, fitness taking over our life. And that's how it sometimes, in a way, it can become an idol. In our lives. And like I said at the beginning, kind of like knowing, where do our priorities lie? Is it coming before God and our relationship with God? And I think that's a way to know, like, asking yourself, and this goes with anything in our lives, but fitness specifically here, like, is it becoming an idol? And a way to know is it taking God's place in your life? Is it impacting you attending your church? Is it impacting you being with your church community, your brothers and sisters in Christ? Impacting your ability to glorify Him and spread His gospel, serving others? I think asking yourself a lot of those questions is how you can kind of know, like, have I gone too far? Is this becoming an idol in my life?
Yeah, absolutely. And just having, those healthy boundaries as well. Knowing when to take your rest days, listening to your body, not getting upset with yourself when, you're going through your menstrual cycle, right? And and it's like the week before, and you're like, man, why can I not lift this weight, or it feels so heavy, or whatever.
Actually, I'm not supposed to.
Exactly. So just kind of, being nice to yourself, I guess I'd say.
Well, and I always say, like, and I even tell my patients this, like, just listening to your body says a lot. Like, I have had to do that a lot, and it's like some days the bed needs to win, and that's okay. Or it is just a walk today. It is just a bike. That's what it is today, and that's okay. I moved my body.
Exactly. And being okay with having that sweet treat. Okay, it's okay to have a sweet treat, because I would say when I was going through the rough of it, it was, I would look in the pantry and I'd say, oh, I'm out of my macros for today. I can't eat it. So I missed out on a lot of sweet treats. So now I be eating the sweet treats, okay?
I love a sweet treat. See,
Especially the Unreals. Oh.
See, I look in the pantry and I'm like, there's no sweet treats. So we have to go somewhere to get a sweet treat.
Ugh, we were just talking last night how we really miss ice cream. We're on Whole 30. Anthony and I are on Whole 30 right now. We're almost there. We're almost to the end of it. So we can't have dairy. So last night we were on the way home from a friend's house and we were like, oh, just ice cream sounds so good right now.
Some Kelly's Cookie Monster ice cream.
Man.
Yeah. Also going back to what we were talking about, I think with anything too, like to check your heart and maintaining healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
And not just in fitness, like I said, anything, asking yourself like, are you trying to fill something in your heart with this?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, especially right now, like fitness is so big in our world because it's, TikTok and social media, and there's so many like influencers that's like their job. I was like posting workout videos, which is really cool. That's great.
Yeah.
But I think now fitness has become really popular. So many different types of fitness, whether it's CrossFit, High Rocks, Pilates, whatever. But another way of like seeing, are you obsessed, is like, are you trying to fill something in your heart with this? Trying to fill a void? Or are you trying to make it a Band-Aid because it's not gonna fill, it's only gonna fill for such a short period of time.
Yep.
And then you're gonna be looking for the next thing to fill it and fill your cup, and it's at the end of the day, it's it's only Jesus who can truly fill that void for us in our heart, in our mind. So yeah, I think that's a great way to also just do a little heart check and keep a really healthy boundary with fitness and prevent it from becoming an idol in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so great. I definitely agree. Like, where are you at with your faith? Like, where are you at? Like Josie said, like, check your heart. Like,
and just like I said earlier too, like, there's a difference between being in a relationship with God versus being like, yeah, I believe in God, I know him.
Yeah.
But, okay, cool. But like, he desires relationship with you. And it's not just saying like, I believe in God and that's it. Like, it's an ongoing process. It's a sanctification process. He wants to know you. He wants to be in a relationship with you. He wants to spend time with you. So knowing is fitness taking up that time?
Right.
Is that being prioritized first? Because God should be coming first, and then fitness and everything else, anything else falls after that in your life.
Yeah. And do it all for the glory of God.
Yeah.
For sure. Cool. Well, I want to end with just this Bible verse, 1 Samuel chapter 16 verse 7.
Samuel. I haven't heard 1 Samuel in a while.
It reminds us that man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. I was like, oh, that's so short, but it's like, oh, it's so good.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about, too, like, when we all go to heaven, he's going to look at your heart.
Yeah.
And what's at your heart.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep, that's all right. I love that.
Yeah.
I'll end with this one, too, which I feel like a lot of people might know this one, but I feel like it's always a great reminder of how well he really knows us and how he, like, I think sometimes we forget he is a creator. And even though there's so many of us on this earth, he knows, like, every little piece of our body.
Yeah.
And it's Psalm 139:13. For you knitted me together in my mother's womb. And that's it.
I love it.
I can read it. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I couldn't read. I need my glasses clearly because I was like, is that the rest of it? And then I realized it was because you started the next. I was gonna start reading my next point, and that was not part of the verse. Oh gosh, that was funny.
That's amazing.
We'll leave that in because I'm so sorry. It means get my mother's.
And that's it.
Should not be that funny. But it's okay. Straight like mic drop. Yes, you did, Lord. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. So, anyways, sorry. It's so serious. It's so funny, so fast.
We need the comedy.
Switch up is crazy. Josie, I'm crying. I shouldn't be crying, laughing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh gosh. All right. Well,
Yeah.
great. Episode 2. Thank you for tuning in. We can't wait to see you for our next episode of the Real Housewives of Orlando podcast.
Yay.
We love you.
Bye.